I'm here with Dan Zack, the reigning World Series Poker Player of the Year. Thanks for taking the time here, Dan. So first question, how does it feel to have your face on a giant banner at the new Horseshoe?
It's good. They actually hit it this year, which is kind of not the end of the world for me because I didn't need it front and center the way Josh had it last year, but it's around the corner in the Horseshoe. But it's fun to see it up there. My family really wanted to see pictures of it, so it was fun to send them that. They've really enjoyed sending that to all their friends and our extended family.
And family and poker, that's a big thing for you? I'm told that you kind of grew up learning gambling with your grandmother, kind of on the knee, so to speak. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my grandmother definitely taught me poker. It started with winning a raffle at a family reunion where I won the jar of pennies for the penny poker that was tradition at the family reunion. And my family, while not being super supportive when I first dropped out of college to play poker professionally, has been much more supportive in recent years. And so they share it with friends and extended family, and they all kind of sweat the World Series with me from a distance. So it definitely is a big thing that everyone follows along with.
Speaking of sweats, last year you were kind of neck and neck with Dan Weinman for a while, kind of the year of Dan, so to speak, for WSOP. How was that? How was that sweat like? Did you guys talk about it at all? What's your relationship like with him?
So Dan and I are close. We've been friends for a long time. We've played the same cash games with each other for a very long time. It was kind of weird because you definitely really want to win. Like, we're both competitive. We both went and railed the other's final table, and not like an aggressive anti-sweat, but also like we're there and we're hoping the other person doesn't win. And I ended up winning the one that he came to sweat, and he ended up coming fourth. And that was the big difference between who won the Player of the Year. If he had won and I had come fourth in the reverse, I think he would have ended up with more points than me. But it never felt like a true animosity, and we're definitely still friends and have been very friendly on this trip as well. So I don't know. It was awkward to be in such a close contention with someone that you're so friendly with, but at the end of the day, we were both fine with whoever ended up winning it.
And for this year, what does it feel like defending your title? Are you feeling a pressure? Did you develop any strategies last year that you kind of want to incorporate, like in terms of points or, lasting it through the whole schedule?
So I definitely felt pressure at the start. Just wanting to repeat was a goal of mine, even though it's very unrealistic. It was fun to think about it. I would say the pressure has really tapered off this week because I'm so far behind at this point. Chad Eveslage has already won 2 bracelets and is going to go full in, and Sean Deeb is off to a very good start, and I've basically bricked the first week fully, which puts me at like a almost impossible to catch up kind of margin. And so yes, there was pressure at the start, but I really am no longer feeling it, and I'm just going to play the events that I want to at this point.
And any particular events that kind of sticking out for you, things that you really want to play?
I really like the mixed game tournaments because there's no other chance the rest of the year to play them. Like, if you want to play no limit tournaments, which is not really a thing that I want to in general, it's not my game, but if you wanted to, those exist all over the country every day, all year long. There's almost nowhere that runs mid to high stakes mixed game tournaments in specific disciplines like Stud 8 or Stud High or Badoogie or, all these games. And so this is really one of the only 2 places during the year that you can do it. PokerGo finally introduced their own version of this year, and I went to do that, and I'll be going there every year as well. But that's really what I love. I love tournaments, but I also love playing mixed games, and it's so rare to get the chance to do both at the same time.
Do you feel like now that the pressure's off a little bit, like you can kind of relax and just play your game? I mean, I feel it's probably a little bit minus EV to chase those points and not having to play every tournament in the grind. Does it feel a little bit easier now?
Yeah. So last year, as you were talking about strategies, towards the end where I was clearly in the lead and in a one-man race, I was really all in on making sure that I maximize my chance, because I said if I lose by 50 points or 100 points, I'm never going to forgive myself. And so that included things like entering some of these $600 tournaments and basically just purposely putting it all in with just random nonsense because there's a lot of rebuys, and just giving myself every chance to run up a stack as possible. So just burning $600 at a time in the process of doing that just to chase a min cash in a $600 tournament. So not having to do that, that never feels good to just incinerate a couple $1,000s of your own just for, around the margins chance of increasing your percentage, because it's just lifetime. It's going to be too devastating to miss out on the opportunity. But yeah, not having to do that this year will be nice. That was definitely very stressful and felt very dumb in real time last year.
Do you find this year looks pretty packed already from what I've seen? The fields are pretty ridiculous, just based on what I've seen from like the Colossus and the mystery bounty. Do you feel live poker's back? Is it back?
Yeah, poker's booming. I think poker was booming even through the COVID years. Numbers were impressive given the fact that there was a global pandemic happening, and now that it seems almost everyone is comfortable coming back and playing live. Everything's up so much. I mean, the stud high 10K broke numbers that I don't think had been seen in a decade. I think almost every tournament is up over its numbers last year. I just think it's going to be that way the entire summer. I think everything is going to top where it was last year, including the main event. I think this will be very clearly the biggest main event of all time.
Any tips for first timers to kind of survive the marathon? Anything you'd impart in terms of like either staying fit or keeping your mind sharp? I mean, I saw you doing a little bit of stretches just before we got on the camera. So anything like that you tell it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a new timer, don't play a full schedule. Full schedule's really taxing, grueling. You don't get enough meals. You don't get enough sleep. Pick and choose the best events for you. Come in fresh. Go home. Get rest. Don't go out and party afterwards. Take care of yourself. It's a really long series. There's a lot of events. You don't have to play all of them. Don't be insane like me and Sean and Chad and whatnot. Just pick and choose your spots and have fun with it.
Any specific hopes and dreams this year? Any wish fulfillments? I have to throw it out here. I'm told you'd love to meet Taylor Swift. Would you rather main event it, or would you rather get to go hang out with her for a bit?
Well, one of those is a realistic possibility, and one of them isn't. So, goals: I would love to win a bracelet. You know, that's always the goal coming into each World Series. That feels the most achievable. And I'm still live for that, even if I feel dead for Player of the Year. So I'm going to enter all the events that give myself the best chance at that, and hopefully big one off. And if not, it'll be okay.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck.
Of course. Thanks, Jesse.